Hairstylist, when does it end? When will you actually start to put yourself first so you can make more money, keep more money, and do it without feeling guilty? I'll tell you when, right mother effing now. Welcome to the Make That Money podcast with Nina Tulio, where we talk all things pricing, all things profit, and how to build your business with confidence. Hey, my friends, welcome back to the Make That Money podcast. And it is going to be a good day because I want to talk about your most visited services in your salon. So, of course, you always hear me talking about pricing and profit, and, we've been doing cost of product, and I hope it's been very eye-opening for you. Today, I want to get you to think a little bit deeper into your business and really start to look at the services that are your most visited, meaning that this is the service that you do the most of every single day, every single week. And I want you to see where you're at in terms of charging and prices for those services. Because when you start to look at your price per minute and your price per hour, and this is a basic exercise that you can do, there's no way for me to see what your true baseline would be and what your true target price per minute would be unless you were in one of my courses or one of my coaching clients where we can plug all of your information and data into my worksheets and calculators, because we would get a very accurate read. But one of the things that you can do right now is you can just calculate your price per minute on all of your services. And we've talked about this before in another episode, but I want you to look at your price per minute on all of your services and then look at maybe your top 3 visited services. And let me just give you the calculation just in case you missed the previous episode. The calculation for price per minute is you take the price of the service and you divide it by the minutes of the service. And that's going to give you your price per minute. Now, let's just say that you run your top 5 services and then you look at your top 3 services and you say, okay, well, maybe my blonding service is one of my top visited services. And then I compare that to 2 or 3 of my other services, and my blonding service has a lower price per minute than my other services. Well, now there's a couple things. Again, I can't get you accurate read and information until I plug everything into my worksheet. But if you're looking at a root touch-up, a touch-up service, and a haircut, or a touch-up service and a blowout, and then you look at a blonding service and a haircut and a blonding service and a blowout, typically your blonding service, you would want to have a higher PPM because it is more time and more product. And also it's more of a, it's a more labor intensive service as well. So when you're looking at the top 3 services and you're looking at your most visited service, is that PPM lower than some of your other services? And is that hindering your business? If your price per minute is on the lower end of the spectrum and it's one of your most visited services, you could be losing a shit ton of money on that service. And I want to give you an example here. So and I'm doing this in real time as I'm looking at one of my coaching clients, and I actually did a reel about this. And little backstory. So one of my coaching clients, she's been with me for years, and we started diving a lot deeper into her price per minute, price per hour. And we discovered that her entire salon, so my commission salon owners, this is so important for you, especially because you have multiple stylists. In her business, her entire salon was undercharging on their most visited service, which was they were undercharging by $9 to $18 on this service because everybody was at different price points. Everybody takes a different amount of time to complete the service. So because she had 4 stylists, including her, they were losing $22,500 a year in revenue. That was just on one service. And this was a touch-up service for her salon. She was losing $22,500 because her most visited service was being undercharged between $9 and $18. Now, don't worry, we got her back on track. We did a price increase for her right before the holidays, so she is all up and kicking and good to go. But that's my question for you. Are you undercharging on your most visited service? When you calculate your price per minute and your price per hour, are you on the lower end of the spectrum with that most visited service? Could you be losing thousands of dollars a year because you're undercharging? And it's also looking at your business this way. I think people get it confused when they think that if they're doing high ticket services, if they're doing color services, that they're automatically going to make the most money and the most profit. And that's actually not always true. And to be very honest, treatments are probably one of the most profitable services because the time frame is so small to for the service and process the service is so small, and the amount of product cost that is used is so small. And so as long as it's priced properly, there's actually a lot of times more profit in a treatment than in a full-blown color service. So we have to kind of get out of this mindset that I can only do high ticket services. I can only do, and that may work for some of you, and that's okay. And as long as those services are priced properly, but there is other ways for you to make money where you don't always have to go for the highest ticket or focus on extensions, where you can actually do services like root retouches and blowouts and touch up services and haircuts and, you know, partial blonding services and treatments that glosses. These are all services that if they're priced properly, you can make more money on them. And actually haircuts, I was doing a price per minute for one of my coaching clients today, and her price per minute on her haircut was over $3 on her haircut. And that's because there's very little product and they were spending 45 minutes with the client. And it was very well priced. And that's actually one of her most visited services. Now, would you rather take haircuts and have a price per minute of over $3, or would you rather spend 3 hours on a color service and be at $1.20 price per minute? Right. So we have to make sure that we are looking at all of our services. We have to make sure that our top visited services are priced properly so you're not losing money on those services. And don't get me wrong, I live for extensions. I have a lot of coaching clients that are just focusing on extensions, and it's great for them and they're doing well, but that's not for everyone. I just don't want to leave behind the stylist that wants to do, you know, partial blonding services, root touch-up services, and haircuts and glosses. I don't want to leave you guys behind and think that you're not going to be able to make money or profit. Again, treatments have one of the highest profit margins as long as they are priced properly. So do not steer clear of your treatments. All the hairstylists that are listening, do not turn your clients off from a treatment because it's $25, $30, $35, $40. Do not, not talk about glosses because they're $40, $50, $55. Those services actually at times can have a higher price per minute than your color services. So, homework. Check out all of your top 3 visited services and start to compare them with other services in your business. And if your top visited service is on the lower end of the leaderboard in terms of your price per minute, price per hour, it may be time for you to increase that price. Now, there's a lot of things that go into increasing prices right now, especially during this time and climate in our industry. We have to be mindful. Demand is one of those things that we have to check into when it comes to increasing services. But listen, if you're going to be doing a particular service all day and that's what your focus is, we've got to get it right. We have to get it all the way together. And one of my other options for you is to introduce an express treatment in your business. So if you want to go the treatment route, Using something like Smart, obviously, you guys know I work with Oligo Professional. I'm the business education ambassador. I've been with them for 4 years. Well, their Smart treatment, there's a couple ways that you can use it, but you can use it as a treatment and it can process for 5 minutes. And you can read up on the blogs that I have on the Oligo website about Smart, but you can charge 20, 25, 30, $35, $40 for that treatment. And it's a 5-minute treatment. So I actually did run some calculations on that price per minute on some of those, some treatments and standalone treatments, and also treatments with, using it as an add-on service. And depending on how you price it, you could be over $2 price per minute on that particular service. So if you don't have an express treatment in your salon, I highly recommend offering an express treatment that processes in 5 minutes. And I really highly recommend that you blast it to all of your clients, right? It's not about just saying, "Hey, this is what we have." It's no, "Hey, this is what we have, but this is how it's going to benefit you." Talk about it. Have it on your stations in the salon. Send out email campaigns. Talk about it on Instagram. Educate your clients as to why they would want this service and why is it going to be of benefit to them, right? Because again, an express treatment, let's just say you charge $30 for that treatment. Let me do the quick math here for you. If you did $30, let's just say you did 5 of them a week. That's an additional $150 times 50 weeks. That's an additional $7,500 for the year in revenue. Now, if you have hairstylists, let's just say you have 4 hairstylists, that's an additional 30 grand in revenue for my commission owners. So do your homework. DM me if you have any questions, and let's get you charging properly, especially for those most visited services. And let's get you making more money. And then on the back end, let's get you keeping more money too. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.